stresses you. And that comes to my third principle. One Precious Life, individualized program, third principle. I don't want you for the rest of your life. I think I am a psychiatrist. Betsy, I didn't say that, did I? I didn't say that out loud, did I? All right, no. I believe in short-term intervention, long-term result. And the way long-term result happens the best is if I can teach you in my office things you can take home with you. Wouldn't that be a good thing? I thought, yes, I said to myself. I hate it when I don't answer when I talk to myself. My daddy always said, I'd say, Daddy, you're talking to yourself. He said, I have to talk to somebody intelligent every once in a while.
But you always know you can use it, any of you talk to yourselves.
Biofeedback, good science, very effective. It works scientifically and it works emotionally because you can see it when it's happening and you know because I'm going to teach you what stress does to your body, your poor heart, you'll say. And you'll want to give it relief. And then you take it slowly at home. All right. I accept individual. I do a group coaching. I've done that primarily in a work setting. I've coached a brand new leadership team, 3 people promoted all at the same time. One day somebody said, you're our leaders. Congratulations. Work together. Whoa. I learned that at the hospital. You know what we always did? We took the best nurse, we'll start with nursing, took the best nurse on the floor. My God, she could first stick always. Never had to draw 3 or 4 times, to stick you 3 or 4 times. Best. We said, the best. You will be our new leader. Doesn't always work. Is that what you said? That's it. I'll pay you a quarter at the end of the show. Doesn't work, but that's what we do. And then they're not happy. Oh, well, I forgot the part where we don't give them any training at all. We just say, because most people believe leadership is something anyone can do. Management, that's not a real thing. I'm here to tell you, yeah, it's a skill set. And if you don't like it, don't do it. But I worked with this group, 3 women, and we went through personality profiles, we practiced, we did all of this stuff, and at the end, they said thank you. And individually working with them on supervisory skills doesn't happen overnight, and I don't try to pretend that it does. I love working with that situation, and I would welcome the opportunity to do so in the organization. Unlike individual coaching, I don't want somebody to say, come in, lecture them, go away. No, I can't do that. And it's not fair. It's sort of the continuation of the same old, same old. Now you're educated. Stop whining. Go away and do whatever it is that managers are supposed to do. Do I get a nod any place in this row over here? I sort of see nods wanting to happen. Yeah, you came up the hard way, didn't you? Even if you're young. Somebody threw you in a management spot and said, congratulations. You said, I'd love to help. And if you just want to talk to me on the phone, freebie for everybody in this room tonight, you have a sticky management situation. The last one I worked with was, I have to fire someone. Oh my God. 2 things I never got used to. The CEO, getting up in front of people and speaking, and firing people. Never gets easy. But if you talk it through with someone, and you develop a little script, you do some what-if scenarios. What if gets violent, comes across the desk at me? What if she cries? Okay. And adults and children I work with children. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter. And I love kids. So I got some extra training in a heart math program. I can work with kids as young as 4 years old because guess what? We stress out our 4-year-olds. What are we thinking? Right? Kids, 4 years old. In Manhattan, there's a nursery school called Ivy League. My God, what are you thinking? So kids get stressed, but also test anxiety, social issues. You have a bully or you have someone being bullied. I will work with you on that, and parent coaching hasn't really happened in Ithaca, and I'm sad for that, because remember, my vision was young women who, like me, I was a single mom, 3 kids, full-time job. And now you guys won't do this to me, so I'll tell you, and then you won't for sure. Usually when I'm up in front of audiences like this, and it's time for question and answer, somebody will raise their hand and they'll say, Bonnie, you had it all. You were a high-powered CEO, and you had a family. You had it all. To which I replied very calmly after 1 or 2 deep breaths, I wish at the time I'd known I had it all, I would have enjoyed it more. And one thing I will not do is to go, I speak with graduate students quite a bit, and graduate students, I will not tell them it's easy, because it's not. I wouldn't have traded either role. Remember my identity crisis, not a mom, not a CEO. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. But if you're struggling, now I was in a town where I had family, kids these days, people, young people, my girls, Houston, Memphis, Leesburg, Virginia. I'm not there. Am I? So when they have their kids, will I show up for the big event? I did. I have 1 granddaughter. But that's not the same as having your grandma as I had. Lived down the street. Grandma, baby won't nurse. What am I going to do? They don't have anybody like that. So part of that coaching is finding a network, because we can be network for each other. I believe that's true. Oh, I have some of the Kimochi. Have you heard of Kimochi? You've heard of emotional intelligence, right? Mm-hmm. Emotional intelligence. That means how you are with people, how you get along with folks, is a bigger indicator of success at an earlier age than IQ by far. Right? So if you really want to do something with your child, don't send them to Ivy League nursery school. Teach them emotional intelligence. And again, my role is not to bring your child in and raise it for you using any of these methods. My role is to educate the parent. Bring the kid in, we'll play together. And it works, it does. I had my granddaughter, quick story, personal story. I don't see her very often, so we Skype. You gotta know what Skype is, on TV, you see your whatever on the other end. I was there when her other grandmother, bless her heart, her other grandmother was there, was Skyping with our granddaughter. And I'm working at it, and they said, Annika, that's my phone number, sit in the chair and talk to Grandma. She's on, and it's her birthday. So Annika dutifully gets up in the chair. She looked like she was going to be hung. She sits there. She says, happy birthday, Grandma Marion. Can I go now? So I said, when I Skype, there will not be, go sit in the chair and talk to Grandma. she could say hi-bye, that's fine with me. I don't want it to feel like punishment. Last night, or night before last, I Skyped with her 45 minutes. Because she says, Grandma, get down here and get in this tent. That's what iPads were made for, weren't they? Okay, here I go. In the tent, we played. Just played. She thinks I'm 4. That's okay with me. All right, we have Kimochi in the back sitting there by Ruth Ann, who's minding the store.
And videoing.
That's Kimochi. And it talks about feelings. Right, you pull them out and you talk about this is what sad looks like. And my friend who does research, not at Cornell, but at a different place, he says he's done research on teenagers. And he said, Bonnie, have you been in a high school cafeteria lately? No, can't say as I have. He said, well, it's not like it was when we went to school. I said, really? I said, no, it's quiet. Quiet? No food throwing, no yelling, no? I said, yeah, they sit at the table and text each other across the right. And so he wanted to study the end result of that behavior, and it's this, very important for employers. When you put a face up on the screen like this, and you say, what is that person feeling? They have no idea. They don't recognize facial expression. And his study is about to be published. It's very valid, very statistically valid. Big difference in the group coming up now. And what do you think it's going to be like? If you're in a situation, I can't even name a job where it wouldn't be important to know. I don't do faces, not in public. Change. I thought you were going getting bored with my singing. Yes, what a ride. And when I forget to be grateful, I cry when I read this out loud. So could I impose on you to just read that for a minute? Can you see? On the days when I say, I had a brain tumor, I had to be on steroids, now I'm fat. I pull that letter out and I read it again. When I have a day when I say, I had a brain tumor and I cannot remember people anymore. I used to be really good with names and faces. Walked through the medical center and knew everybody by the first name, and we called each other by our first names. Can't do that anymore. I can't run, I was a runner. And then, turn the slide, please. If my surgeon hadn't done what he did, I would not have seen my mother turn 90 years old. Now forgive me, because this does happen. I'll turn my back so you wouldn't look at me. My daddy died in that 10-year period, and I sat on his bed, and I was able to bring him home, because he wanted to go home and die. And I sat on the edge of the bed, and he explained to me his childhood, what happened to him when he was growing up. We've never talked about it. And it was so important because it explained my childhood. It explained how he disciplined the things that were important for me to know. I sat on the edge of his bed and gasped. I watched my kids grow up, find what I really, really hope will be their lifetime committed partnership. My Carolyn, my Lane, the youngest, the one whose hair was cut by our dear friend Debbie. She's let me grow now, Debbie. I would not have seen any of those things met those wonderful young men. Friends in both Jersey City and Ithaca. People who are now close to me because I've lost track of a lot of my old friends, my old Bonnie Howell CEO friends. Not that we wouldn't still be friends, and I'm hoping to make that happen, but in Jersey City and here, new people. I got a chance to write a book, and I was there when my granddaughter was born. Yeah. Genetic hats. I don't wear hats myself, but that meant everything, didn't it? And then I said, hey, Bobby, you're fat, you can't remember stuff. Remember that. In closing, I'd just like to say that, yeah, maybe some would say I learned about one precious life the hard way, because there's nothing like somebody saying to you, I'll do everything I can. You'll be on the OR schedule on Tuesday. Go home, get your affairs in order. One precious life. Yeah, that's the hard way, but what a wonderful gift. My daughter was there with me when he said those words. My Carolyn. A bond that is different than any bond we ever had before. And my goal, one person at a time, as you now say at the medical center, right? One person at a time. I didn't steal that from you, but it's very nice. I like it. My best work, I think, is with people, one-on-one. Always was. I coached as a leader because I know bossing doesn't work. I say, if you think you're in charge and you're authoritarian and you know you're in charge because you tell them so every day, sometime you might want to turn around and see if anybody's following. Because if they're not, and also, they're on the front line. They should be telling you what they need. You should be telling them how to do it. Isn't that so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. And if I can work with those people, I will. Tell them, can't do it that way. That's what stepping stones is all about. Short-term intervention, long-term results. And my favorite of all my little sayings, you don't have to do it alone. You don't. It's okay. There's no shame in reaching out for help. I have a quiet little office way down the end of Tioga Street. You can sneak in there after hours if you want, because my hours are whatever we say they are, only by appointment. Now, that's the end, isn't it, Deb? See if you can make one more go.
Yeah.
That's the end. You did great work. I have to tell you, housekeeping, just because you show